From this cradle of civilization, the first chapters of China were written. Legend says that around 2070 BC, Yu the Great tamed the floods and founded China's first dynasty, the Xia. Though Xia's historicity is debated, it marked the idea of dynastic rule. The Xia were followed by the Shang, circa 1600 to 1046 BC, China's first archaeologically confirmed dynasty. The Shang kings ruled from walled cities in the Yellow River Basin, developed advanced bronze casting, and inscribed the earliest Chinese writing on oracle bones. In 1046 BC, the Zhou overthrew the Shang and reigned for nearly 800 years. Western Zhou rulers introduced the mandate of heaven concept to legitimize their power, but by 771 BC, invaders killed the king and fractured China. During the Eastern Zhou era, feudal lords fought incessantly, the spring and autumn and warring states periods. It was an age of iron swords and iron-willed thinkers. Confucius, Laozi, and other philosophers shaped Chinese culture. Finally, in 221 BC, one victor emerged. The Qin Dynasty, 221 to 206 BC, unified China under Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. He standardized the writing script, weights, measures, and coinage across the empire, and ordered vast projects, an early Great Wall to hold back northern tribes. Emperor Qin also built a massive mausoleum, guarded by thousands of terracotta warriors, a testament to his power and ambition. Yet the Qin was short-lived. Heavy taxes and harsh laws led to rebellion, and by 206 BC, the dynasty collapsed. China's reunification came with the Han Dynasty, 206 BC to 220 AD. The Han emperors adopted Confucian governance and greatly expanded the empire. Under Emperor Wu, 141 to 87 BC, the Han extended into Korea, Vietnam, Nanyue, and Central Asia. Crucially, Han diplomacy opened the Silk Road. Envoy Zhang Qian linked China to Central Asia and Rome, exchanging Chinese silk for foreign goods. During the Eastern Han, Buddhism first entered China via these trade routes. Han China also invented paper, improved iron tools, the seismometer, and ship rudders. By all accounts, the Han was a golden age. Confucian learning flourished, population and prosperity grew, and modern Chinese identity took shape, a legacy so deep that even today the majority ethnic group still calls itself Han. After 220 AD, Han authority collapsed. For nearly 4 centuries, China splintered into competing states, the Three Kingdoms, the Jin Dynasty, and later the Northern and Southern dynasties. Warfare, migration, and cultural blending reshaped the land. Buddhism spread widely, offering spiritual comfort during centuries of instability. Finally, in 581 AD, Emperor Wen of the Sui dynasty reunited North and South. The Sui constructed a powerful centralized state, built a grand new capital, and dug the Grand Canal to bind China's rivers into a single economic artery. Yet the Sui rulers overreached, exhausting the people through massive construction projects and failed military campaigns. By 618, rebellion toppled the dynasty. From the ruins of the Sui arose the Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907, an era often remembered as China's second golden age. The Tang emperors forged a strong, confident empire. Under Emperor Taizong, Chinese armies pushed deep into Central Asia, securing the Silk Road and projecting Chinese influence far beyond its borders. The Tang capital, Chang'an, became the largest and most cosmopolitan city in the world, home to merchants, monks, scholars, and diplomats from across Asia and beyond. Poets such as Li Bai and Du Fu captured both the grandeur and the sorrow of their age in verses that are still memorized today. Buddhism flourished, while Islam and Christianity also found footholds within China. For a time, the Tang world experienced peace and prosperity, a period sometimes described as Pax Sinica, but internal decay and the catastrophic and Lucian rebellion shattered imperial authority. By 907, the Tang dynasty collapsed, plunging China once again into division. After several decades of fragmentation, a capable general named Zhao Kuangyin reunited much of China and founded the Song dynasty in 960. The Song period, divided into northern and southern phases, became one of the most innovative eras in human history. The Song pioneered the use of paper money, developed a sophisticated tax system, and oversaw a commercial revolution. Shipbuilding advanced dramatically, leading to the creation of the world's first permanent navy. Chinese inventors refined gunpowder weapons, printing technology, and the magnetic compass, tools that would later transform the wider world. Cities grew enormous, literacy expanded, and art and philosophy flourished. Economically, Song China rivaled or surpassed any other civilization of its time. Yet despite cultural brilliance, the Song military remained weak. Northern invaders captured the capital in 1126, forcing the court to flee south and establish the Southern Song Dynasty, which survived for another century under constant threat. That threat came from the Mongols. Rising from the steppes under Genghis Khan and later his grandson Kublai Khan, the Mongols conquered vast territories across Eurasia. In 1271, Kublai Khan proclaimed the Yuan dynasty, becoming the first foreign ruler to govern all of China. Under Mongol rule, long-distance trade flourished once again as the Silk Road reopened under the protection of Mongol armies. Chinese inventions and goods flowed west, while silver and ideas traveled east. European travelers such as Marco Polo visited the Yuan court, later describing China's wealth and sophistication to a fascinated Europe. Yet Mongol rule imposed heavy taxation and rigid social divisions. Natural disasters and popular resentment fueled rebellion, and by 1368 the Yuan dynasty collapsed. A former peasant monk turned rebel leader, Zhou Yunzhang, seized power and founded the Ming dynasty. The Ming restored native Chinese rule and rebuilt the empire's institutions. The early Ming emperors strengthened agriculture, revived Confucian governance, and constructed monumental projects, including the Forbidden City in Beijing. In the early 15th century, the Ming launched one of the most ambitious naval enterprises in history. Admiral Zheng He led massive treasure fleets across the Indian Ocean, reaching Southeast Asia, India, Arabia, and East Africa, projecting Chinese power far beyond its shores. Despite these achievements, later Ming rulers turned inward. Defensive priorities led to the reconstruction and expansion of the Great Wall. Over time, corruption, economic strain, and peasant revolts weakened the dynasty. In 1644, rebel forces captured Beijing, and the last Ming emperor took his own life. Into the chaos marched the Manchus from the northeast, who established the Qing dynasty. Though foreign in origin, the Qing rulers adopted Chinese traditions and governed effectively for centuries. Under emperors such as Kangxi and Qianlong, China expanded to its greatest territorial extent, incorporating Tibet, Xinjiang, and Mongolia. Population and culture flourished. But in the 19th century, China faced an unprecedented crisis. Western industrial powers, armed with modern weapons, forced China into unequal treaties following the Opium Wars. Ports were open, territory was ceded, and sovereignty was compromised. Internal rebellions, including the devastating Taiping Rebellion, further weakened the state. This era became known as the Century of Humiliation. By the early 20th century, the Qing dynasty could no longer survive. In 1911, revolutionaries overthrew the imperial system, ending more than 2,000 years of dynastic rule. The Republic of China was proclaimed under the leadership of Sun Yat-sen. Yet the new republic struggled to unite the country. Power fragmented among warlords, and foreign aggression intensified. Japan invaded Manchuria in 1931 and launched a full-scale invasion in 1937, plunging China into one of the bloodiest theaters of World War II. Amid war and chaos, the Chinese Communist Party rose to prominence by mobilizing the rural population. After Japan's defeat, civil war resumed between the Communists and the Nationalists. In 1949, Communist leader Mao Zedong proclaimed the founding of the People's Republic of China. The nationalist government retreated to Taiwan. Mao's new state transformed Chinese society through land reform, collectivization, and socialist ideology. Early successes were followed by catastrophe. The Great Leap Forward caused widespread famine, and the Cultural Revolution unleashed a decade of political chaos, persecution, and cultural destruction. After Mao's death in 1976, China stood at a crossroads. Deng Xiaoping emerged as the paramount leader and launched sweeping reforms. Markets were reopened, private enterprise allowed, and foreign investment encouraged. Special economic zones transformed fishing villages into megacities. Over the following decades, China experienced unprecedented economic growth, lifting hundreds of millions out of poverty and reshaping the global economy. In the 21st century, China has re-emerged as a major world power. It is a leading manufacturer, technological innovator, and geopolitical force. From the legendary floods of Yu the Great to the skyscrapers of Shanghai, China's history is a story of continuity and transformation. Dynasties rose and fell, ideologies shifted, and empires collapsed, yet the civilization endured. The story of China is not finished. It continues to unfold, shaped by a past that stretches back over 4,000 years and a future still being written.